Hello everybody, I'm Marty Owings and this is your Capitol Update for Tuesday, February 12th, 2013. The action's been pretty intense up here at the Capitol this past week, including debates over some rules that the Republicans weren't too keen on, some rule changes that the Democrats wanted to make. Of course, last week was Gun Week, and we saw Governor Mark Dayton deliver the State of the State address to the full body of the legislature, a joint session. That means that the Senate and the House were together to listen to the governor's speech. Of course, there's been all kinds of other bills moving through, including a bill to allow Sunday liquor sales, and of course the governor's budget continues to get reaction. Here to help us break it all down is former state legislator and our part-time co-host, Paul Gardner. Representative Gardner, as I sometimes refer to you when I'm going to ask you a serious question about legislative rules, what's the rub now? So now the Democrats introduce these rule changes, which the GOP cries foul on, that now you need to give 24-hour notice before you put an amendment on the floor. That seems capricious and arbitrary.
Well, let me throw out an opposite view. They were on the floor until I think 2:30 in the morning over some of these points, but the main one was about submitting amendments 24 hours in advance. If I was a Democrat speaking privately on the floor, I'd probably say, yeah, the Republicans introduce all these amendments to slow everything down, and they know nothing's going to pass, and so they just make up amendments, and they don't let you know more than 30 seconds in advance when they're going to introduce them, and we're here till 2 in the morning. A more valid viewpoint is that legislators would do a better job and the public would be more involved if they could see the amendments posted online 24 hours in advance to major bills. Interest groups could rally their troops, generate calls and emails, personal visits in some cases, to say, we hope that you'll support this amendment for this reason. Mm-hmm. I would say that I would have done a better job at deliberating the policy issues by knowing in advance, instead of 30 seconds ahead of time, what amendments were coming up on the floor. And that would actually allow for richer, fact-based debate, as opposed to a lot of the gotcha political stuff that goes on right now. However, it does limit your ability to, if you have an idea and, whoa, man, we need to fix this right away, and nobody wants to pull the bill out and put it in the Rules Committee again, you wouldn't be able to just do stuff on the fly unless a certain number of people said, okay, let's consider this.
Well, isn't part of the rub the fact that you've been doing it this way for years and years and years and years, that you're able to introduce an amendment right on the floor as part of the process, because it allows that vigorous debate to take place and that reaction to some trickery that might be pulled on the other side when amendments are changed.
But I don't think the current system leads to more robust debate, and it certainly doesn't allow participation by the public, because the public can look online to see the amendments pop up, as I did last night just for kicks, on my laptop to see what was being introduced, but no more than a few minutes before they were actually discussed. So I had no chance to even email my legislator at 11 at night to say, this is a good idea or a bad idea. So the public doesn't have access to information if it's not public.
It seems to me, I remember a few years back that the Republicans tried to pull something similar on the Democrats, and there was outrage.
Sure. Your job in the minority is to say that you're being wronged, and in the case of the Republicans now, they don't have a lot of tools to have their voice heard. So I can understand their perspective a little bit, because it's all Democrats now, even in the governor's office, and they're trying to figure out how are they going to influence the debate now.
Okay. Governor Dayton delivered his State of the State address last week to a packed House, if you will, and it got some interesting reaction, both from Republicans and Democrats, particularly when he talked about the gay marriage issue and believing that it shouldn't be illegal. What are your thoughts on that, and about the governor's address?
You know, personally, I'm for marriage equality, but both the president and Governor Dayton, in very public venues, have advocated for two things that haven't really been mentioned publicly by someone that high up. One is marriage equality. The other one is climate change. The governor mentioned climate change. He mentioned a little bit about it, but that sent out signals to a lot of people that maybe there's a chance to do something on the state level. So those are two things that I think we're new, the tax issues are always going to be an issue of major debate.
And then it was Gun Week last week, and there was
it's going to be Gun Rights Day on the 21st.
Gun Rights Day.
Along with Marriage Equality Day, so it's going to be a very interesting day.
Busy up here at the Capitol.
Yes.
Now, the State Senate's Environment and Energy Committee has a scheduled February 19th hearing on issues related to frac sand, sand fracking and whatnot, including a proposal for a statewide environmental review. In the past, I've had Democrats and Republicans both sit here and agree on such controversial subjects, even though the EPA recommended against them, because they have a financial interest in their district to explore energy and what that means in terms of jobs and so forth. What are your thoughts on that? And from an environmental standpoint, should they listen to the EPA, who's recommended they stay away from some of these things?
Well, but look what happened in Red Wing. The mayor of Red Wing, I think,
right, he's also
was going to lobby for the frac sand folks.
Right.
Former Senator Murphy said he should resign for something that's so hot. There are huge piles of sand sitting outside downtown Winona. This is a hot issue, and it's not like the guys up north who would say, don't mess with mining.
Yes.
Even though I hate the mining companies, I like the jobs and I want the jobs. It's a little different in this time because we're talking about sand is just being trucked out, a lot of truck traffic, complaints about not a lot of local jobs. But in terms of the environmental review process, that is very arcane and serpentine to most people. But we're connected to a bigger trend, lower natural gas prices, but worries about groundwater contamination. It's coming home right here in Minnesota. For more serpentine and arcane stuff, you can email Paul Gardner or tweet him directly. What's your Twitter handle, by the way? Actually, I'm at Recycling Reinvented. Take out the vowels and Reinvented, and then you have it. If you like crossword puzzles or tweeting Paul Gardner, you can find him there on Twitter. And you can find us on Twitter at MNCapNews. Don't forget to follow us. That's it from the Capitol Now. We'll talk to you next week. Thanks very much.